All right, welcome back to another episode of Run for Covers. This is the video series where I look at those theme covers, those runs of covers, those variants that just, have a through line that runs through a multitude of titles. Hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as the other content I'm putting out here on Rennavision. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything, and just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I'll be back with this week's books. All right, so kind of following up on last week's video where I did the Women of Marvel variant covers from 2010, where most of the Marvel, female Marvel characters were featured on the covers. 5 years later, in 2015, Marvel decided to do Women of Marvel again, but this time they kind of spotlighted their female artists who all did covers during that Women of Marvel month. So this is a little bit different than the last topic. Not all of the characters featured on these covers are going to be female characters. Some there are, some they aren't, but this is kind of a spotlight on the female artists that were working for Marvel at that time. And I thought it was kind of interesting and something else to kind of follow up on last week. So that's what we're going to look at here. Like I said, it was 2015 when they decided to do this special kind of run with it. I do have one of the books sitting right here next to me, this Hawkeye, which is one of my favorites from that run. But yes, we're looking at the 2015 Women of Marvel, focusing in on, again, the various artists from Stephanie Hans, Sana Takeda, Amanda Wu, Vanessa Del Rey. There's plenty of top-notch female artists that are featured here in this run of covers, and we're going to go through them basically one by one. I think there's about 20 or 21 covers in this theme month variant run, so that's what we're going to look at. These are not incentive variants. These were just variants, probably qualifying variants at the time. And so some of these are harder to find than others, and some of these are a bit pricier than others. So hopefully you enjoy what you see, and if you're interested, I'm giving you a little bit of pricing information so you can give your consideration of whether you want to go and buy one, sell one, whatever you want to do with that info. So we're going to kick it off right here with all new Captain America number 5. This is a pretty cool cover. It's got the Sam Wilson, cap down below, and it's just a pretty awesome cover there. This is a Marguerite Sauvage, if I'm saying her name properly, and this is her cover here, and there she is as the artist on this. If you're interested in this book, this one is out there on the market from anywhere from as cheap as $3 up to $15. So again, most of these are not that expensive. So if you're looking, a lot of these can be had for cheap. It's not that difficult of a run to complete, but there are a couple of pricier ones that we'll get to as we move on through the list. But most of them are kind of in this kind of range where it's like $5 to $10 for the most part. But here, $3 to $15 is what we're looking at for this Marguerite Sauvage cover on the all-new Captain America number 5. And just to give you a sense of what it actually sells for, well, this one sold for $4 at auction. Hefty shipping charge from the UK, but still, $4 with one bid at auction is what that sold for. Which is going to take us to our next book, which is, again, the one I have sitting next to me here. This all-new Hawkeye number 1. I dig this cover. There's just something about it. I like the colors. I like the follow-up play with the circles, the targets. It is a pretty cool cover. And this one is by Sho Murasi. I don't know. Again, I'm probably butchering a lot of these ladies' names. I'm doing my best with what it looks like to me phonetically. But Sho Murasi is the artist here on this one. And she has a very distinct style. It's a lot of kind of like negative space here on this cover, and a lot of like kind of a pop kind of backgrounds. Definitely pretty cool look. I dig it. And if you're looking for this one as well, this is on a little bit of the pricier side, $20 to $40 for this one. Again, it's not an incentive variant, but with all the heat around Hawkeye these days and Kate Bishop, it shouldn't be surprising that a lot of her variants are a little bit pricier than many of the other books that just might be out there on the market. But still, $20 to $40 is not terrible. It won't break your wallet, but it's definitely not just a bargain bin book you're going to find, for a cover price or $1 or something like that. Most likely. I mean, if you do, God bless you. Good luck. But this is more about what you can expect to pay. And if you want to see what it actually sells for to kind of gauge that market, look, 16 bids got one up to $18.50 just there on November 6th. So a couple of weeks ago, just about $20 for one at auction. So that's what we're looking at there. Again, this is probably one of my favorites of this run. I know it's hitting it up early on, but hey, we're doing this alphabetical. So there we are, which is going to take us to our next all-new X-Men number 39 cover here. This is done by Faith Aaron Hicks, who gave us a nice little... This is the original X-Men run. I wasn't a huge fan of this Bendis run just because I felt like it was a weird trope to bring the original X-Men into the future, and I felt like they might have lingered a little bit longer than I might have liked. Personally, that's just how I felt about the storyline. That all being said, this all-new X-Men run still was a pretty solid run, all told. I think it was about 50 issues almost. And yeah, this is a pretty cool little cover there. And if you want to see what this one sells for, this one's pretty cheap again, $2.75 to about $13. Again, that's going to be a popular range of a lot of the pricing here on many of these covers in this Women of Marvel run from 2015. And if you're curious what this one sold for, one sold for $6 back in September. So again, not an impossible to find book, not a super pricey book, but yeah, just one to kind of put into the collection if you were so inclined to start going after this run. Which is going to take us to our next one, this Amazing Spider-Man number 16. Yeah, pretty cool little subway cover. Spidey, taking the train, getting a pic snapped of him as he's sitting there. This one is done by Ming Doyle, and yeah, so pretty cool little cover she's got there. Definitely a different take of things you don't see, like Spidey swinging through the skyscrapers, like him riding the subway is definitely a change of pace, and definitely kind of interesting. This one, again, $3 to about $11.50 is what's out there right now. And if you want to see what it sells for, well, one sold for $8 and one sold for as low as $1.50 in November. $1.50, one bid at auction. So yeah, these things can go pretty cheap at times. Because again, they're not incentives. Some shops could have more copies than others. It's just, the luck of the draw, really, what you're going to find out there these days. Because this is, again, 2015. So we're talking about 6 years ago, almost 7 years now. So yeah, good luck. What you find out there. Good luck hunting. But it is kind of a fun little run. As is this little Ant-Man cover. I kind of think is kind of fun with Ant-Man there in the little ant farm. Definitely a fun little take. This one was done by Katie Cook. So pretty cool little cover there. Like I said, I like the take. It's very bright. It definitely stands out from the rest of the group. Just with that kind of a blank background. It's kind of more of a telling a story than it is just like a superhero pose or action shot or something like that. But definitely pretty cool. This one is out there for about $6 to $12. Again, not too crazy as far as pricing goes. So one could be picked up for a decent price if you're interested. And you can see, look, Signature Series 9/8 sold for $85 with the signature right there on the front. That's pretty cool. I mean, this was way back in August, so the price has probably dropped off by now. But yeah, $85 for a Signature Series 9/8 isn't too bad considering how much it costs to get you that thing graded. Yeah, pretty decent sale there, or pickup for whoever purchased that one. Which is going to take us to our next book, Avengers 42. Pretty cool team up cover there. You got the ladies up front, but the fellas are still there in the background there in the A. So this one is done by Elena Casagrande. Pretty cool cover, and kind of stands out a little bit to me. I like the color play there in the background. Kind of helps push those characters forward, and the characters filling out the A of the Avengers is a nice little touch. Available copies for this one are be as cheap as $2.50 to $12.50. So again, you can see not too expensive on a lot of these ones. So we can kind of move through this, and you can see if you want them, you can go and pick them up at a decent price if you are that interested in them. And as far as sales go, look, best offer on $3.76 and one sold for $3. So definitely pretty cheap. This is a pretty cool Black Widow cover on Black Widow number 16. This is a Vanessa Del Rey who just did that Redland series from Image not that long ago. Definitely more of a stylistic image here with a Black Widow in a more of like a kind of noir pose, which kind of fits her character. I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, and like I said, Vanessa Del Rey kind of knocked this one out of the park. I kind of like this one. I do not have this one in my collection. I do want to add it, but I'm gonna have to see what's out there in the market. And right now, it's not that bad. $10 to $20 is not terrible. I might consider picking up one of these copies, maybe even that $10 one before you guys can when I put this video out there. But we'll see. Maybe I'll hem and haw and wait a little too long, and somebody else will scoop that one up before I do. But $10 to $20 ain't terrible for this cover. I think it's pretty cool. And if you want to see what it actually sells for, one sold for as little as $4 back in September. So cover price pick up there. Not too bad. Definitely not too bad. And this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Not everything has to be hard to find incentive covers. Not everything has to be super expensive comics that are going to have like, sky's the limit and you're going to be spending thousands of dollars to kind of complete runs. Some of these things can be cheap. If you're just interested in comics and collecting covers and art, and just if you like this hobby, not everything has to be, the most expensive thing in the world or has to be so focused in on, investment in potential all the time. Not to say that there isn't investment in potential in any or all of these covers. I'm just saying it doesn't always have to be the focus of what we're doing here. Sometimes we can just collect things just because we like them, and there's nothing wrong with that. That PSA aside, let's move on to our next book so we don't take a whole night here running through covers, but Captain Marvel number 13 is another one. Pretty cool cover here with the, I don't know if those are pigeons or doves or what are flying. Look more like pigeons to me, but she's flying there with the birds. This cover was done by Afua Richardson, if I'm saying her name properly. Definitely a pretty cool take. Her above the clouds. What is it? Faster, higher, stronger? I can't remember the tagline from the Captain Marvel movie, but that definitely came well after this cover. But it kind of elicits that feeling in my head when I look at this one. But available copies on this one, it's $4.50 to just under $10. Again, not expensive. These aren't too expensive in most cases. So these can be found if you are that interested in collecting this run. And none have sold of this one recently, which is kind of interesting. There's not always going to be a lot of sales or any sales in some of these cases because, again, these just aren't covers that a lot of people are looking for, which is kind of why I like looking at stuff like this, because not everybody is looking at these. So that's where I like to look, because that's where you can usually find bargains. Taking us to Deadpool, number 43. Pretty cool cover there with the chipmunk. This is a Sarah Richards cover. Like I said, pretty cool image there. Little chipmunk with the Deadpool mask, grenade, kind of fun. If you want to find this one is also not too bad, as low as $2 to $11. Telling you, affordable stuff. And one sold for $2 back in October. So $2 plus shipping, not too bad. You might even find these in the cheap boxes. So that's another thing. You be aware of this. If these covers stick out in your head when you're digging through those cheap dollar bins or whatever, you might be able to find some of these because, again, they're not incentive covers, so they may just be mixed in with the regular stock. And something might just jump out at you and you go, oh, I remember that. And unlike the other run from 2010, there is no stamp on the front to denote these as all as the Women of Marvel covers. So it's not like these are part of a group that has like a logo stamp on them like the other ones did. But these all do go together for that 2015 run of covers. And our next book is this Guardians of the Galaxy number 25. Pretty fun cover there with them all playing poker. This one was done by Erica Henderson on this. So Erica Henderson did the cover on this number 25 with the Guardians all playing poker around the table, which, again, it's a fun little take. They're down in some sort of like basement, it looks like. Rocket cheating, handing Groot cards under the table. Again, fun little take, fun little cover, and one that can be found, again, at a decent price. This is $2.40 to $13. Again, you can see the theme running here for most of the pricing here. On the low end, it's half cover. On the high end, you're paying, maybe triple cover, or you're a little over $10. Not terrible. Definitely not terrible. And if you want to see what this sells for, one sold for $3.80 beginning of November. Not too bad. Inhuman, number 13. Pretty cool Medusa cover there with the logo mixed up in the hair. I always like it when the title, the trade dress is mixed in with the actual image, and there's some interplay there. I always am a fan of that. So Jill Thompson did this cover. Pretty cool. I also like the coloring here as well. And this one, again, is an affordable book. $4 to $12. Not bad at all. And if you want to see what it sells for, well, none sold, just like that Captain Marvel in the last 3 months. So, there's not a lot of people hunting Inhumans books these days, but again, this is just one to keep an eye out for them. You flip them through a box. I find it interesting. Maybe you will too when you see it in person. This next one, Legendary Star-Lord number 10. I do kind of dig this one too. Something about Sana Takeda's art. She does Monstrous. It's just interesting to look at. I dig it. I like this perspective on this one. I love the detail work there. I dig it. And this is a pretty cool one. And this one can be had for, again, as little as $2.60 or up to $10. Again, these aren't terribly priced. These are things you can add if you're interested. And if you want to see what it actually sold for, well, None sold in the last 3 months. So, yeah, they're out there, and they're just not really moving because, again, this isn't like a big in-demand series or run. But who knows? Things can change. Who knows where things are going to go, in the future. Now, our next book is going to be on the pricier side. This is Ms. Marvel number 13. This is the first, I think, the introduction of the Red Dagger. Is that the character's name? I think he's is part of this run here. And this issue 13 is one of the pricier ones we're going to find on this list. This is a Noelle Stevenson cover. She did this, and she's the only one, I think, on this list twice. I think she's the only artist who has 2 covers, actually, in this Women of Marvel run. And this is our first one that we've come across. And this Ms. Marvel 13, like I said, this is a pricey one. This one is $65 to $200, so the asking prices for raw copies. So this one is tough. Is a tough ask. I dig it. I like the colors, the whole ribbon play there. It's got definitely a striking image, but man, those are some steep asking prices. And if you think they're kind of crazy, well, if you look at sale prices, one did sell for as little as $25 back in September, but a 9/8 sold in October for $275. So this is getting up there. This is going to be a tougher find. This is going to be a pricier book as compared to the rest. So if you are making this run, this is probably going to be the tough one for you. So keep that in mind. So we're going to move on now to New Avengers number 31. Pretty cool cover, like the grouping there with them all kind of just focusing together. This is a Laura Braga cover. She did the cover on this one. I think this was the Superior Iron Man kind of time frame with Iron Man there in that white armor. And yeah, definitely another one. Add to the list of cool things to find, and all another one in that $3 to $10 kind of range. So $3 or $11 is the asking prices right now. And if you want to see what's sold, well, $2 and 15 cents. One actually sold with one bid for 15 cents on November 21st with $6.50 shipping. I mean, there was still shipping to be paid, but 15 cents. Yeah, can't get much cheaper than that. Can't get much cheaper than that. Moving on to Rocket Raccoon, number 9. Definitely kind of a cool little drawing here. Like, this kind of looks like a coloring book almost at times. This is definitely an interesting makeup for this cover. And this is the second Noelle Stevenson cover that we have. Like I said, she's the only one who has 2 on this list. And this one, on the other hand, unlike the Ms. Marvel, is not as pricey. It's about $2 to $15. So it's still kind of in that same kind of range as the rest of the group. And if you want to see what this one sold for $1.79 on November 12th. Again, at auction, but still under $2. Come on, these things, again, most of them are pretty cheap. So far, really just the Hawkeye and the Ms. Marvel are the tough ones. And that, I think, has more to do about the character than anything else. And our next book is going to be S.H.I.E.L.D., number 4, Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement Logistics Division. Number 4. There's a Sue Storm cover. Pretty cool. You see, Coulson down there below. I like the negative space play there that done by Colleen Doran. Definitely a cool little cover, and one to keep an eye out for. I kind of like it. I don't know. But I'm a fan of the negative space covers. Just personal thing, personal preference. I don't know. I just kind of like it. I like when an artist kind of could work that into their repertoire. Copies of this one, $4 to $10. So again, not bad at all. And if you want to see what it actually sells for, well, none sold the last 3 months. So there you are. Again, not a lot of movement on this book, but copies are there to be had, and they're not that expensive. Which is going to take us to our next book, Superior Iron Man, number 6. Tony Stark there, basically being drenched in his armor. I don't know what the play is there, but the kind of a waterfall look by Annie Wu is definitely pretty cool. I mean, it is definitely a different take. I think I know her more from doing DC books than Marvel books, but yeah, definitely an interesting one. And this is a book that you can grab for as little as $1.89 or up to $15. So again, you can see the range is very, very consistent across most of these books. And one sold for $4.50 back in October. $4.50. So a little over cover, right around cover. Not bad at all. Next one is a pretty cool Stephanie Hans, Thor, number 6. Cool image. This is one that you would think would be an incentive, and probably if it was an incentive book, it would sell for a crap load. That's just how these things work out. But since it is not an incentive, there are copies available for $10 to $32. So a little bit of a higher floor and definitely a higher ceiling than the rest. So closer to that Hawkeye book than the rest, but still not terrible. So 3 so far out of the whole run are a little pricier and not even that bad. I mean, $10, that's not terrible. And it's going to take us to what the sold copies are. One's over $15, just November 19th. So very recent sale, $15 isn't too bad for a book like this, I think. Pretty cool cover. Like I said, this was an incentive cover. This would probably be like a $50 book for a 1 in 25. Easy. But it's not an incentive. It's just a variant, which is going to take us to our next variant here, Uncanny Avengers number 3. So Amanda Connor did this cover. Fun little cover there. You can see, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver playing with each other there a little bit. She's got the banana peel as he's sticking his tongue out of her, teasing her, and she's going to put that banana underneath his foot. So, hijinks can ensue following this. So fun little cover on Uncanny Avengers number 3. And again, another one that you could pick up at a decent price when we look at what's on the market. They're $5.50 to, just under $12. Again, not too expensive at all. And sold for just under $7. Not bad, right? We're almost through it here. We're almost near the end of our little run with Uncanny X-Men number 33 being our next installment. And this one is done by Stacey Lee. Pretty cool cover. I like the little alleyway. It looks like a Joan Jett kind of like album cover of some kind. Kind of cool. But this Uncanny X-Men book, you could find it. Again, it's not that tough. This is $3 to just under 17, but you can still get it as low as $3. So you're getting it for less than cover out there, even online. So again, check your shops. These are the kinds of things you can probably find in boxes still, because there isn't a huge demand for shops to go and pull them out of their boxes to try to sell them online for undercover. Is it really worth their effort to do so? Recently sold copies, best offer on $5.50, and then to buy it now on $8.70. So not pricey at all for this book. And like I said, this is kind of a cool cover too. I wouldn't mind adding this one. I might have it, but I don't know for certain. Well, I'm definitely going to look for this one, as well as a couple of these others. And what kind of also sparked me in doing this list was our recent look at the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl variants. So this one got me thinking about it as well. I think I kind of flashed this one in one of those previous videos really quickly. This is Unbeatable Squirrel Girl number 3. This is our last book on the list. This is a Gurihiru cover, if I'm saying her name properly. Definitely does more manga stuff than most, and you can see it in the art there. It's got that kind of a manga anime kind of vibe. But if you want to find available copies of this one, it's not too bad still at $7.50 to $12. So higher floor, but the ceiling is right there about the same as most of the books. So there's really only those 3 that are even kind of expensive, with just one being really expensive, and that's that Ms. Marvel number 13. But and copies of this one, $7, sold November 17th. So they still sell. And yeah, and that's our list for today. This is the Women of Marvel run from 2015. Again, focusing in on the female artists of Marvel as they were doing all those covers back in 2015, as that was the highlight of the theme that they were running through. Definitely pretty cool. Definitely a set that's not too tough to put together and shouldn't be too expensive, apart from maybe 1 or 2 as we've shown. But that being said, hopefully you enjoyed that and enjoy the rest of the stuff here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments. Again, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. We can do some more giveaways. Check out the live shows I do on Wednesdays with Marco, and on Sundays with Marco and the rest of the crew, the Star Wars show on Sundays. And yeah, and I got something dropping at least once a day, here on the channel. So hopefully you like it. So set those alerts so you don't miss anything. And like I said, let me know what you think. I appreciate feedback and suggestions. Make any suggestions of things you want to see on this series or any other series of some books you want to see. I like covering variants. I like covering runs. I like covering, ghosts and dollar bin stuff, cheap stuff, forgotten stuff. I know some of you do make suggestions to me, and believe me, I take it all down. I got a spreadsheet full of notes of things still to cover, so I am listening. So throw out your suggestions, and we'll see where we go from here. But like I said, hopefully you enjoyed that, and I will see you guys soon with some more content.